Hi, I'm Christopher, but you already know that since you're watching this video. I've been posting a lot of issues on LinkedIn, which is basically theory, and I think now it's time for us to go a little bit deeper and define what are all these models, what are all the things that I'm talking about. So as you see, I'm wearing this hoodie, which says never imitate, always innovate. And what do I mean with that? I mean with that, if you want to build a great company and a great organizational culture, you have to do it your own way. You have to do it the authentic and autonomous way for your organization. Because there's no other people like you, there's no other organizations like you. So now I'm going to sit down and try to explain this model for you a little bit deeper. So this model is something that I learned when I first read the book by Frederick Laloux called Reinventing Organizations. And I was totally flabbergasted to understand how you could create a complete different organizational culture where people are thriving, people makes meaningful things with the other people. And so in order to understand how we can do that, we need a model, and this model is really brilliant. So it's not so easy to understand to begin with, but it's very logical. It's brilliant because if you see the lower three parts is based on self-interest, and that goes for you as a person, and it goes for an organization. The organization needs to earn money, we need to take care of ourselves, just as you and I need to do. So it's called the 7 level of transformational consciousness. And what does that mean? It means that we develop over the years. Since we were born and we go older and we enter into our 40s, which is what we call the alignment between the ego and the soul for individual purposes. And for the organizations, it means that we are entering into the level which we would call the common good for an organization. So the upper part, the 4 upper parts, is for the common good. It's what we could call we leadership, which is where the amazing potential lies. If you look at research done by Stephen Covey, says that most companies, they are down here and they use only 20% of its potential as an average. The top 500 Forbes organization use only 20% of its potential. Hey, I mean, that's an amazing potential you can utilize here. And the book by Frederick Laloux called Reinventing Organizations, I mean, he found that only 14% of people were actively engaged. You can think, okay, 86% of people actually wouldn't really want to go to work. They actually wanted to do something else. So you can think, what does that do to productivity? So we're using this model and have some concepts to explain and use for purposes of creating a great organizational culture. So when I talk self-interest, you have to take care of yourself as an organization and as an individual, right? Money, health, relationships, those things need to work. And then we can evolve to higher level of consciousness, which we call, in this model, first of all, this 3 lower levels is called the ego. If you think that ego is bad, it's not. Without a mature, good functioning ego, you would probably die. Meaning you cannot evolve further if you have not got a mature ego. So the next level is the eco, the ecological, the whole thing, the holistic way of thinking, the collective way of thinking, the systemic way of thinking, which in an organization we need to find that balance between the ego needs and the common good. So we use some concepts here, and you know, don't take me wrong when I say this 3 level levels is transactional and male leadership. It's basically because men think differently than women, and we need both of them. But what we are losing out on here is not to take into the transformational leadership, the female leadership, the common good, what we call the teal mindset. And in this model, you will find a solution to everything, to leadership, to take care of each individual, so that each individual find itself worthy, find itself autonomous, can make own decisions, because our brains are hardwired for autonomous. Great news, isn't it? I mean, neuroscience, epigenetics, use your brain to start to create a mindset which creates an awareness of you, like, what do you want to think? What do you want to be? If you start training like this, this thing in here is actually muscle, and you can train it. You can go to the brain gym. Richard Barrett, he's still alive, created this brilliant model, which I was totally infatuated with. So I need to learn this. 2014, Frederic Laloux wrote his book. He was a consultant by McKinsey, and he said, well, we're not doing the best we can at McKinsey, so we quit. And he did a huge survey and found out, yeah, there are different ways of creating great organizational culture, and use this model. And I think it's important that we also have this discussion about what is leadership. There's actually no good definition of leadership. So science say that there's actually much more bad definitions of what leadership is. So in this model, to create this kind of great organizational culture, you have to be on level 5, which means you have found your core values, you have found your life purpose, and you have learned to implement them in their way of being as a leader and with others. So also on this model, you see, leading from self, level 4, leading the team is level 5, leading the organization, level 6, which means level 6 is you found your core values, you found your purpose, and you have found the people who share your same values and purpose. And that's when magic starts to happen. That's when you start to create an environmental friendly organizational culture, which is basically focused on the common good. Level 7 is leading society. So, you know, in our today's society, who could be a good example? I think I just watched this video with Biden visiting Ukraine today, and Zelensky, I mean, he is, I would say, as far as I know, a great example of leadership, because he's there for his country and his people. You know, when you watch him going around in his green t-shirt, that was absolutely fascinating. Okay, I think that's all for today, folks. And if you want to know more, how to create this amazing organizational culture, attracting the best talents, which today is a big issue, creating an organizational culture that also attracts Generation Z, because they know what kind of organization they will want to work with. And I would say this model, implementing it, learning from it, finding your core values, finding your purpose, finding the right people to work with, the sky is no limit. So if you want to know more, just get in touch. Thank you.